we've just been talking about grocery, and we're still expounding specifically because we were talking about the mandatory bills that we're supposed to be paying for. The mandatory bills and expenses, which is the 50%. Now, we expounded on grocery. We want to look at transport being one of the key aspects of our mandatory bills. And now we all have different modes and types of transport. And so it is key that, again, we budget for it. And when we budget for it, we should be in position to ensure we make maximum use of what we've budgeted for. Now, so many of us have a couple of transport needs, okay? I want to start right away from people who don't own any that use public transport. Now, you use public transport, that is good enough, but you have budgeted for the whole month or for the whole, wherever you go, that you need transport, or you go to work, you go to your business place, or whichever place you go to. Make sure your transport is intact and it's set aside, and its intention is just to keep transporting you. Don't use that money for doing any other thing. Okay, that's called discipline. So then there are categories of people now who have means of transport. Okay, they have means of transport. You have a bicycle, and if you have a bicycle, just know that is your means of transport. But a bicycle has a couple of things that it requires. And so you have to ensure you mechanically maintain that bicycle on road. So the bicycle has definitely bicycle tires, you have some bicycle parts, but you might also have frequent or monthly service for this bicycle. For those who ride bicycle, understand what I'm talking about. So you need to set finances aside to ensure that you can manage to service your bicycle, you can manage to buy the spares for your bicycle, or even repair your bicycle. The same with motorcycle, the same with cars. With cars, it even goes just beyond managing. Now, with cars, you must know the moment you're going to buy a car, you understand there's going to be fuel as an expense that you need to budget for. So you need to budget for. Majority of us own cars and we own motorcycles, but we struggle with fueling. We struggle with fueling. We don't have fuel to go to workplace, okay? Because we don't budget for it. But we earn on monthly basis, or we do businesses, or we have source of income that we could actually be in position to have a frequent fuel. So you know your mileage, you know how far you go, you know how far, you know how many liters of fuel you use. That is given a specific period of time that you receive your income. So you must be intentional in ensuring that, one, you have a definite amount. If you don't have discipline, most especially for fuel, okay, you must then buy your fuel in bulk. That means you can fuel your car once and for all. You know, if you put a full tank, it can go for the whole month. Now, that is not the issue. You can fuel it, but you must control your kilometers. Some of you or some of us, once we have full tank, now we begin to take long ranges. We begin to go in places. We begin to go for things that we have not even intentionally planned to go for. So that is very key. Okay? So if you have fuel in your car and you know the purpose to which you have bought this fuel, you must maintain the kilometers of your car to that specific thing. I'm not restricting you. I'm just trying to make you financially disciplined, okay? So that you don't run out of these things, because the mismanagement of these things will push your hand into your investments or into your savings, which you have intended for investments. Okay, so now we want to ensure that you develop disciplines around this. So you have fuel. Make sure your fuel for your motorcycle or for your vehicle is for that specific distance. you have calculated for, with exception of things that you cannot do without them. Let's say there's sickness, you need to go to hospital, there's what, there's this, there's that, there's that. Then you know your miscellaneous must be in position to take care of these things, these gaps that are going to. But you can also be intentional. That means you budget your fuel just beyond your workplace. You budget your fuel to you try to imagine your whole month movement. Okay, you try to imagine your whole week movement. Whichever duration you earn income in will be informative to you for how long you should be budgeting. So you have that. Now you have things that are coming in long term. Okay, you know that the kilometers you drive are informative to you in regards to your service. Now, for you to be able to take care of your car very well, you must again ensure that your car is serviced. You must ensure your motorcycle is serviced. You must ensure your bicycle is serviced. Lack of service for these things will definitely cost you much more resources than what you think. You can actually lose them because you don't service them. You can lose them. Now, last time I told you, some of us have driven cars for very, very long time. And people wonder, how are we managing to drive? Because we intentionally budget for them. Monthly, we ensure our cars are taken care of, because we intentionally budget for it. So now the issue will still rotate here. You have budget for service. I am in assumption that by the time you are buying a car, you know that you have capacity, you have enough income to dive into this form of budgeting I am talking about. If you don't have the capacity, then I don't think you qualify for those specific things. But if you have, because of where you are going, because of what you do, because of how you earn your income, the car or the motorcycle or the bicycle has become a necessity, then you must intentionally budget. Now, you must also begin to save. You might not save because you don't know when your car is going to break down. There's service, remember I talked about it. There's fuel, I talked about it. There's now repair. You have to, because repairs come at an informed time. So your miscellaneous must be taking part of, when you are coming up with a whole total of miscellaneous that I'm going to talk about at some point, you must ensure you have gone into all these sectors, all these various units to ensure that you have captured many things that can happen without you knowing that they are going to happen. So you have repairs. You have to begin to save. There is an amount that you have to intentionally save for repair, because your car can break down anytime. We're talking about mechanical breakdown. Your motorcycle can break down anytime. Anything can happen anytime. You can be involved in an accident anytime. God forbid, you can. Okay? So that has to be taken care of. That in any case, it has broken down. Now you cannot put it back on road. Many of us, that's the level we are in. Once our means of transport break down, your bicycle has broken down, 6 months down the road, you have not put it up. That means you cannot afford a bicycle. That's what I would say. I will talk about that again. That means you cannot afford a bicycle if you cannot put it upright in 6 months. If you cannot put it upright, your motorcycle or your vehicle in 6 months, you cannot afford it. Now, this all rotates to budgeting. Remember, because it is not easier for a car to break down, or a motorcycle or a bicycle, unless there are accidents, unless there are things you are not just doing. But if they break down, that means you have enough space to do the savings. So if I'm saving 50,000 for an average Ugandan, or 100 or 200 towards just repair, okay, by the time I am getting a major breakdown, possibly I have some good money to start from. Okay, now that is that. But I also want to say again, now there are other major components within a car or a motorcycle or a bicycle that you know within a specific period of time, well, definitely you will need to work on them. Now, one of them are the tires. Because you are moving, tires are not keeping quiet. They are wearing. Tear and wear is on them. Tear and wear is on them. So you know the kilometers you are covering. You know in 1 or 2 years down the road, those tires will be off and you need to buy them. Now, so because you will need to buy them, you don't have to wait until when your tires are completely down. That's when you buy, or when your tires are, then you take your one-off money to buy a tire. No, it is expensive like that. It is expensive for you to be able to buy, because tires are expensive. I want to say most cars, their tires range from 250, that is by a tire. Now you have 4 of them, that is $1 million. Okay, that is 1 million just to buy. Those are the obvious cars, but the people who are driving cars, that one tire goes for 500,000. So you have 4 of them. That is 2 million down. Okay, so you know 2 million. You are not just going to pull it. That is the whole of your maybe it is either your 2 months or your 1 month income. I don't know, whichever it is. But you can imagine you have taken that money just to buy a tire. Then that whole month, that means you cannot eat because you have bought a tire. You have bought tires. You cannot treat anyone. You cannot handle any emergency. You can't pay school fees. You can't do anything because you have bought tires. You see how expensive it can become. Now, you have a bicycle, you know the tires are going down. You have a motorcycle, you know some of you are riding on very dangerous tires and you will cause extreme accident because you are not planning for them. I'm not a technician or technical when it comes to those ones. But what I am saying is, into these things that you want to use, you have to be intentional in your budgeting. So when we talked about budgeting the other time, about transport, we meant this now into details. That's why I was referring you. Thank you.